day 1071 of the Trump administration. And as the president spends the holiday week at his Mar-a-Lago resort in Palm Beach, he is continuing his attacks on Democrats, House Speaker Nancy Pelosi in particular, and also the vote making him the third U.S. president to be impeached. Trump also continues to act as his own defense on Twitter. This morning, he called Democrats liars for the delay in sending articles of impeachment to the Senate. He also retweeted a post from last night that read, quote, "Why should crazy Nancy Pelosi, just because she has a slight majority in the House, be allowed to impeach the president of the United States? Got 0 Republican votes. There was no crime. The call with Ukraine was perfect with no pressure. She said it must be bipartisan." Congress won't be back in session for another 10 days, set to reconvene on January 6th. And the actual start date for an impeachment trial in the Senate remains unclear. This week, Trump has sent mixed signals when asked if he is worried that Pelosi might hold up the articles of impeachment indefinitely.
Well, all I know is my poll numbers are the highest they've ever been. Our fundraising in the Republican Party is the highest it's ever been. She hates the Republican Party. She hates all of the people that voted for me and the Republican Party. So now they get to the Senate, and now we have the majority, and it's up to Mitch McConnell. Now they want McConnell to do wonderful things for them. I mean, he's going to do what he wants to do.
But the Senate Majority Leader, Mitch McConnell, may be facing some potential dissension in his ranks over Trump's impeachment trial. During an interview that aired in her home state of Alaska on Tuesday night, Senator Lisa Murkowski publicly expressed her concerns about McConnell, saying that he is working, quote, in total coordination with the White House.
In fairness, when I heard that, I was disturbed. If we are tasked as the full Senate to do impartial justice under the Constitution and the law, to me, it means that we have to take that step back from being hand in glove with the defense. And so I heard what Leader McConnell had said. I happen to think that that has further confused the process. If it means that I am viewed as one who looks openly and critically at every issue in front of me rather than acting as a rubber stamp for my party or my president, I'm totally good with that.
Today, one of Murkowski's Republican Senate colleagues was asked about her concerns.
The senator's entitled to her opinion, and Senator McConnell is entitled to his. So far, as best I can tell, as to the rules of impeachment, there are very few rules. And I dare say that just about every senator will approach this differently.
Murkowski is one of several Republican senators who will be closely watched during any Senate impeachment trial. The others include Maine's Susan Collins and Utah's Mitt Romney. They have both criticized the president in the past. Collins also faces a tough re-election next year, as does Colorado's Cory Gardner, though it's worth remembering that each also has to contend with the threat of a potential primary challenge before they even make it to the general election. Trump made a point of publicly supporting Collins this week. He quoted a tweet from Senator Lindsey Graham, who wrote that Collins, quote, showed unbelievable courage during Justice Kavanaugh's confirmation. The president added to that, "I agree 100%. Another Republican senator, Mike Lee of Utah, is said to be working behind the scenes to coordinate with the White House ahead of the impeachment trial. Politico says that Lee has emerged as one of the de facto leaders of the case to acquit Trump and says the senator's task is to, quote, track the wide-ranging viewpoints within the Republican Senate majority, including his Utah colleague and impeachment wildcard, Mitt Romney. Lee is perhaps one of the few in the GOP conference who can win praise from both Trump skeptics, Republicans like Romney, and senior officials in the White House. As Trump rails against the impeachment process, he claims this is all impacting his ability to carry out U.S. foreign policy, writing, quote, "It makes it much more difficult to deal with foreign leaders and others when I am having to constantly defend myself against the do-nothing Democrats and their bogus impeachment scam. Bad for USA." But yesterday, the Washington Post offered a far more nuanced view of Trump's current situation, reporting that, quote, the fallout of the impeachment battle extends far beyond Trump's political survival in a Senate trial. Tensions exposed by impeachment have fed Trump's belief that he is surrounded by disloyal subordinates and have fueled animosity among congressional Republicans toward the supposed deep state. Today, the idea that a cadre of nonpartisan civil servants can loyally serve presidents of either party in pursuit of shared national interests, a bedrock principle of the country's approach to foreign policy since World War II, is under attack. That level of mistrust seems to have been key to Trump's dealings with Ukraine and the charges at the heart of his impeachment. The Washington Post also recently reported that Trump's refusal to accept U.S. intelligence findings of Russian interference in the 2016 election was rooted in his belief in the debunked theory that Ukraine was behind the 2016 hack of the DNC. One former senior official told the Post, quote, Trump even stated so explicitly at one point, saying he knew Ukraine was the real culprit because, quote, Putin told me. The president was pressed on that issue just a few days ago, and his response had the hallmarks of a who's on first routine.
Sir, what did President Putin say to you that convinced you that the Ukraine interfered in the 2016 election?
What did he say to me?
Yeah.
About what?
What did President Putin say to you?
You're putting words in somebody's mouth. Who are you referring to? Me? I never said anything about it. I never said a thing about it.
Hey there, I'm Chris Hayes from MSNBC. Thanks for watching MSNBC on YouTube. If you want to keep up to date with the videos we're putting out, you can click subscribe just below me or click over on this list to see lots of other great videos.